Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you. Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at Bricks Cascade in Portland, and today we're taking a look at every single LEGO Pirates set ever released by LEGO. So I've got one of the displayers here with me that's contributed to this massive collection. If you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll dive on in here to this huge collection.
Thank you. My name's Chris. I'm PX Chris Builds with Bricks on Instagram. And so this is our complete pirate collection here. So what we're trying to do here at this convention is we wanted to showcase the history of LEGO Pirates in its entirety. So we've started with the very first pirate sets that LEGO ever released in 1989, and then we've gone all the way up through the sets that they've released just within the last year. So here at this end, we've got some of the very first sets that they ever came out with, some of the most iconic sets that LEGO's ever released. We have Black Seas Barracuda, El Dorado Fortress, which they've just recently remade, and a variety of all the other smaller sets that they've come out with at the beginning. So as we can see, LEGO really went all out when they came out with this theme. They had a lot of multimedia efforts for one of the first times in their themes, with some comics and some books, some German audio dramas, just all kinds of stuff that they really kind of went all out for the first time with a lot of storytelling in one of their themes, with named characters and all this backstory. So it was really a really special thing that LEGO did. You know, they came out with originally the town, castle, and space, and then this was their fourth major theme that they released out to the world. So yeah, that's what we wanted to showcase here at Bricks Cascade. We just really wanted to show everybody how awesome this theme is, and what a cool variety that they released.
And like you said, there really are some just classic sets from these early years here, things that are still considered some of the all-time best sets LEGO's ever done.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even Brickset recently did a poll on what's the most iconic minifigure of all time, and Captain Redbeard, our famous pirate captain, most people consider one of the most famous minifigures of all time, right? So this is a really iconic, classic theme. And so far the public's absolutely been loving it. You know, we've had a lot of people come by and say, ooh, I had that as a kid. I remember that, and that's really what we're trying to showcase here. That's a reaction we want from the public. We want those memories of childhood and those nostalgic reactions. And then when they have their kid next to them, their kid's like, "Dad, I remember you playing with that set. That set's so cool," right? And it's those sort of reactions with the public that we do this, and we're just so happy to be able to bring this for everybody to see.
Now, we've touched on some of the bigger iconic stuff, but of course you've got tons of smaller stuff with these themes as well. And those are where a lot of the fun play sets come in as well. I think of having some of these smaller sets like the towers here growing up, those fun island base plates that you could use in so many different ways. So yeah. What are some of your favorites in maybe either minifigs or sets and some of these smaller ones here in this section?
Yeah, right. You're so right. That's one of the things that Pirates really did well, I think. Maybe some of the other themes didn't as much, as some of their smallest, cheapest sets still had so much play in them. So, you know, even something like just this little, boat that maybe cost just a few dollars, right? You'd have a cannon, a soldier, and a boat all for just a couple of bucks, right? Here on the Pirates stuff, right, we have these little island sets where you've got treasures and monkeys and sharks that you could get for just a couple bucks. Right, so cool. Rafts, shipwrecked pirates, all that kind of storytelling that you could get at really any price range. With so much potential for play there, and it's just so great. There's so many classic, iconic sets. I even have here a couple of from the Ideas book from 1990. They released these LEGO Ideas books where they would showcase little custom builds, but also instructions for what you could build out of your own pieces if you had them. So I even brought a couple of those that they did in the Ideas book, so that people could see some of that kind of stuff as well.
Another interesting thing you see here is the way they reuse the same kind of base plate design on some of these sets several times, using that like ramped base plate seems to be a particular favorite.
Yep, so actually it was Pirates that debuted the raised base plates. So this ramp base plate was a very, very common one that then you also see got used later on in castles and other themes. But it was actually the Pirates line that those pieces debuted in. That is another awesome thing about the Pirates is we got a lot of brand new pieces for the very first time into the system with Pirates. A lot of the animals were brand new. The monkeys, the sharks, the parrots, those are all brand new for Pirates. Raised base plates, cutlasses, muskets, firing weapons for the very first time came in Pirates, right? That was a big deal. So that was one of the really neat things is all these new pieces that you could now then use for whatever your creations were that you were building.
Now, are there any particularly rare or sought-after minifigs from kind of the early decade here or so of LEGO Pirates? What are some of those that are kind of the hardest to get a hold of?
Sure. So actually, if we go down just a little bit where John is, this figure that's here on this merchant ship, this is actually the only merchant ship, non-soldier pirate ship that they ever did for Pirates. And that little figure is pretty rare. He only came in 2 sets ever, so it's a fairly rare one. Goes for $40 to $60, right? But, other than that, honestly, that's kind of the nice thing. They did reuse a lot of the same Pirates pieces. So, for a lot of people, you could get a pretty good army of soldiers or pirates. The Admiral and the Governor, those were also fairly rare pieces because they only came in just 1 or 2 sets each. Yep.
Now, in your opinion, kind of looking at the variety of builds we've got here, which factions do you think kind of got the best sets from LEGO in terms of ships, the bases, the big sets? Is it the Pirates, different Imperial factions? Do you have a preference?
Yeah, that's actually a really, really good question. So, as the video's going through and looking at everything, one of the things you will notice that they did with Pirates is the pirate ships just way outclass all the Imperial ships that they ever did. The soldiers kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to a lot of those. So, the pirate ships are almost twice as big as the soldier ships in all of these different iterations throughout the years. They didn't really fix that until 2010, where they actually came out with a fairly good size Imperial ship. So yeah, the Pirates definitely got the bigger guns and the cooler ships. I think that's why so many of us who grew up on Pirates tend to be the Pirates are actually the good guys and the soldiers are the bad guys because they also got the coolest stuff.
I've never actually thought about that until just now, but it's interesting when you see these laid out, and you're so right. You can look at the scale of these ships here, and you're like, the Imperial guys don't stand a chance. Yep. But also, I think like Pirates, everybody loves Pirates, and so you want to have the pirate ship be kind of the more fun, iconic set, I think.
Yep, for sure. No, I agree. I agree 100%. Definitely.
Another interesting thing we see in a few of these designs is kind of 2 base plate wide sets. And I know we've got an example here. There's the Islander set over there. So tell us a little bit about kind of the way that those are put together and just the size of some of these.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I think Pirates did really well, with the base plates is they actually incorporated them pretty nicely to make these fairly expansive sets with a minimal number of pieces. You actually got a pretty large footprint of sets. So yes, you're right. There are a number of these that are 2 base plates wide, and they're just connected very basically. You normally just a couple plates or something, but they really do help to expand your play area quite a bit, and really give you a lot of extra room for imagination.
So I know we're moving through the years now, so how far into the era of Pirates are we in this section here?
So where John's showing right now, we're kind of in about 1994 with the Islanders. So that was a really cool expansion to the Pirates theme. Up until then, we just had the soldiers and the pirates.
So that's about 15 years then after the very initial debut?
So about 6 years.
6 years. Sorry.
89,
Yep,
90,
you're right.
94, we were about 5-6 years in, right? So yeah, that was a great expansion to it, to where we now had a third kind of faction of characters that we could play with, and they were the natives. And so the storyline kind of there was we had some pirates who were going to try to get this native gold or treasure or whatnot, and a little bit of conflict there. But it showed them not always that conflict. Sometimes they were on each other's side, maybe against the Imperials. So it added a nice bit of variety to the theme and really kind of expanded our options there a little bit more.
especially some great colors in here. The minifigs in particular, I think, have always been a standout from this theme, the minifig printing and design.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm actually, you won't see it on camera, but I'm wearing an Islander shirt right there. One of my favorite factions of all time. They are fantastic colors. Islanders was actually the very first time we got leg printing for Lego minifigures. They were the very first. So, yeah, such great face prints and colors. You know, all the vibrant greens, and then they brought in the reds and everything. And the alligator piece was a brand new piece also for those Islander sets. So again, just adding more variety to your play options. Fantastic stuff.
And in this next section, we get one of my kind of all-time favorite ships, and one of the ones that I had growing up was this one here with the kind of blue and white hull, which also had some of the chrome armor elements in it, which I always thought were just like really, really incredible.
Correct, yeah. So we are now getting into where some of it's actually a bit more rare and expensive. These very last couple years of the classic pirate theme had more limited release, and they weren't as highly bought at the time. So nowadays they're much more rare and hard to come by. Those chrome pieces are a little bit have tendencies for chipping and whatnot, but they are some of the most fabulous pieces that they ever did. They're so shiny and bright and cool. Yeah, so this Armada era had some really, really awesome stuff. So it's unfortunate that it kind of ended with this era. They really had a good thing going, but this is sort of when pirates started dying off. This is when the theme started, the original run of it started ending in '97 with the Armadas and on all those things. Yep.
And there's another nice set here. This is kind of a base plate and a half type design here. But again, some of those great minifigs I think look fantastic. And then you see the pirate ship in the back there as well.
Yep. Yeah. With these last couple years of sets, they came out with a whole bunch of new prints for minifigures and face prints and all of that, adding a great variety, some really great characters, great designs. The one set up front here has even an Indiana Jones sort of vibe with a rock falling feature, where you have this booby trap set for people trying to steal your gold. So yeah, some really fun stuff that they did.
So like you said, though, this kind of takes us into a bit of a dark age for Lego Pirates, and really a dark age for Lego in general. Anyone familiar with the history of Lego with kind of the late 90s, early 2000s, and the struggles there. So then when does Pirates kind of start to reappear? What form do we see that in?
So right now we ended in 97, and now there's quite a few year gap. So they re-released a couple of sets in their Legends line in like early 2000, but they didn't really start doing anything new in Pirates until 2004, where they did these junior Pirates sets that we're looking at right now. These are the Jack Stone style figures. These are very maligned by many people nowadays because they're not the standard minifigure. Their prints are pretty wacky. They're pretty gnarly things. So yeah, we have that whole row of, that's all the junior sets they released just in 2004. They're very juniorized. I don't think they really picked up very well, but that was their, well, let's try to see if anybody's still interested in pirates. And so that was 2004.
We did get a whole pirate ship, though, from that theme. So, when you're hating on Jack Stone, it gave us a pirate ship.
It did. And it's a big boy, too. I mean, and it's the only pirate ship they ever released that actually floats. Yeah. Right? So there you go. So it was a pretty awesome little thing there. Yep.
I just have, this is kind of my prime Lego age in Jack Stone, kind of early 2000s. And so I realize there is a lot you can make fun of with the Jack Stone theme here. But it still will always have kind of a soft spot in my heart.
Yes, indeed. Yep. So it's an interesting little sidebar into the Pirates history, but it's important to show. Yep.
And then where do we go from there?
So then from 2004, then it was another fairly big break until Pirates actually came back in true form again. And now we get into where my co-collaborator, Paul, focused a lot on this stuff. So we start now here in 2009, so another 5-year gap. And that's where Pirates actually came back for the first time in full bloom here. And so it was only the 1 year with a creator expert Imperial flagship that's much loved by people. Came out in 2010. So it was just a 1 year run though. Pretty good selection of sets though. You know, we had some of the small, some of the medium and large. We had a decent pirate ship and whatnot. And of course with the Imperial flagship in 2010 was the first time where the Imperials actually got their due and they got a ship that was properly sized and actually bigger gunned than the pirate ship, where they could actually, meet them at sea and really give them a good battle. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we've got Paul here, so we'll go ahead and move into his section then as well. So thank you so much, Paul, for all of your work here. So we got kind of an introduction there, but what else can you tell us about the early years of this section?
So the 2009 stuff is cool because, they updated the older classic sets with modern parts, so you get the advantage of the larger parts library. So there's the monkey has a banana, that was a relatively new piece. There's a key. You get more of the colors, because again, the larger assortment and variety of things. Printed parts you don't see so much of anymore, which is to be expected with the modern sets. It's cheaper for them to run sticker sheets. So pieces that would have been printed for the earlier lines, you'll see stickers on them now, like the Imperial Outpost right here, which has got the red brick relief stickers.
Which just really makes you appreciate those older years so much more when you look at the prints on those and how fantastic those are compared to applying stickers like this on just blank pieces.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a mixed bag because you do get the nicer pieces and they look better with the prints, but then you have more versatility with the stickers. If you don't want to put them on, the piece can be used for something else. Once you put that sticker on there, you're a purpose, driven element.
Yeah.
So we've got the 2009 ones, and then they came back again in 2015, although it was a much smaller run. And that's what we're looking at right over here. And again, not a terribly big difference between the 2009 and the 2015, with the exception of many more female minifigures. So this is, when LEGO started to become aware of the lack of gender diversity in their sets, and people were saying, it's all angry men in these sets. And all right, yeah, they're pirates, but we've, with the movies and whatnot, you see female actresses playing major characters and all that, and LEGO started to work more of a variety of minifigures into their sets. But that pretty much, brings us to the end of official pirate stuff. Did you have something?
So, and we did have a little interlude in between those 2 years of what we'd call real pirates. The Disney Pirates of the Caribbean came out in the middle there, which we just wanted to show just a little bit of what they did kind of in between those two themes. Most of us feel that was kind of we'd prefer the real pirates, not the Disney stuff. So there was that little interlude until we got back to the good stuff.
There we go.
IPs too that we didn't represent here. Angry Birds came out, and you had the Piggy Pirate ship, things like that. I know.
How could you leave out Angry Birds?
Yeah, I know, right? SpongeBob was another one that had a lot of pirate-themed things as well. Chris and I kind of favor more the classic stuff and less the IP stuff, so that isn't really represented that much here. Although, again, we have the Black Pearl, right? Yes. Because it's a pretty impressive ship and very popular, so we've got that. And then we've also got some pirate-inspired things from other lines that LEGO did. So with the Sea Cow right here, which is a fantastic set from the LEGO movie, very iconic.
Maybe the most unique ship LEGO has ever made, or one of them. I mean, just very, very cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's a fun build. It's fantastic to look at. There's so much detail packed into it. It really, it was the hero set from that movie, and it earned that name. We've got Ninjago did Sky Pirates for a while, so we've got a representative from that, which was a lot of fun. We've seen Ninjago do a bunch of different themes, and as the years go on, and the pirates were a good run. There were like 7 or 8 of them, I think. And then we've seen callbacks in the LEGO Creator sets. So we've got the LEGO Creator roller coaster over there in the back. We have Barracuda Bay, which is a nod to the Black Sea's Barracuda.
Such an incredible set. For anyone who has not had a chance to build that or play around with that, just the versatility of the ship and the island, the build experience, it's a top 5 favorite set all time for me now.
Easily. And that, it's fantastic. You mentioned the versatility, the fact that you can pull the ship sections apart and then clump them back together and have a modern update of the Black Sea's Barracuda is just fantastic.
Now, I can't help but notice you skipped over video, so we really...
Video has its fans too. And video is fantastic because it just pulled in so many great just ideas and just sort of random out there things. The app was not great, and I know that people had issues with the price point, a lot of these things, but the colors are fantastic, the themes are fantastic, and they had a number of pirate ones. One of our colleagues, Yano, brought that. She's also done the Toys R Us mock over in the back.
Such a great build here. Shout out to all the Toys R Us kids out there. I love the lettering on that, and then just like how much she packed into the interior.
She does amazing work, and she's really, really big into character designs. So that's why the video line, for example, appealed to her so much, and we're glad to have those on loan from her.
And then, of course, that does bring us kind of full circle from the very end to this end here with the remake of El Dorado Fortress here. A great design. What were your kind of overall thoughts when you saw this come out?
I actually don't have that one yet. I'm still dying for it. It's on my wish list for the year. Chris brought that.
Okay. What were your thoughts, Chris, when this came out?
Honestly, I built this here just in the last few weeks leading up to the convention. And honestly, it's fairly impressive. Being a classic guy, I have a lot of nostalgia. El Dorado Fortress was the very first pirate set I ever got when I was a child. I have a lot of nostalgia for this. So it was pretty cool, honestly, to be able to build this set and in modern pieces and modern design techniques with all those classic callbacks. So way to go, LEGO. I wish you would do more of this. Fantastic stuff.
So this is an incredible collection here. Do you know how many ships and overall sets are in the whole layout here?
So overall, including all the miscellaneous stuff, we're at almost 100 sets total. So we've got 66 sets in the classic area, and then another 20 some odd sets here in the more modern, and then all the other miscellaneous things that we springed around. So about 100 sets in total, covering 35 years of LEGO history.
Yeah, that's incredible. So my final question for each of you, I'll start with you, Chris, is looking to the future with LEGO Pirates, if there's one set, maybe it's a remake or maybe it's something kind of an original idea that you would love LEGO to make, have you thought about that? What would that be?
Honestly, what I'd really like is just them to come out again with a full Pirates line. I love that they've been doing these one-off callbacks, but I think there's enough demand. I think we would really love just a full Pirates line again. I think that we're due for one. It's been since 2015 that we've had a dedicated Pirates line. So that's what I'd really like to see.
Okay. And how about you, Paul?
I'd love to see the Islanders sub-theme come back because they're fantastic. There's really still nothing quite like them. I think the closest that LEGO's otherwise done was the Johnny Thunder sets, the Orient Adventure sets as well. And they're exciting. The colors are great, and with the Jungle Explorers theme that they did a few years ago, or Jungle Rescue with the Venus flytraps and all that, they definitely have the parts that there could be some really, really cool designs for those. And again, that's another fan favorite. Whenever people come to the table, they absolutely love to see them. So I'd love to see those come back.
Well, fantastic work kind of bringing all these builds out to the show here. I love to see these all set up at once, and it really helps you appreciate kind of the history of what LEGO's done with this. So thank you guys both so much.
Thanks so much.